Have you ever wondered how alliances form between nations, especially in times of potential conflict? Well, let's take a journey into the complex world of international relations. We'll explore the intricate diplomatic ties between two seemingly disparate nations, North Korea and the Philippines. In the wake of the Korean War, the Philippines chose an ally in South Korea, a decision largely influenced by anti-communist policies and suspicions of North Korean support for communist groups within the Philippines. As you can imagine, this presented quite a roadblock in building formal ties with North Korea. However, the landscape of international relations is ever-changing. During the 1970s, the first seeds of a potential alliance were sown, as efforts to establish formal relations between North Korea and the Philippines began to take root. But like a tree that takes years to grow, this relationship too needed time to develop. It wasn't until the dawn of the new millennium in the year 2000 that these efforts finally bore fruit, and formal diplomatic ties between the two countries were established. Yet even as we celebrate this milestone, we must acknowledge that the journey was far from smooth. Like navigating a ship through stormy seas, the path to this alliance was fraught with challenges. The Philippines' initial alliance with South Korea, for instance, cast a long shadow over the budding relationship with North Korea. But as we know, alliances aren't built in a day. They are the result of years, sometimes decades of negotiation, compromise, and a mutual understanding of shared interests. So how does this complex relationship affect the possibility of North Korea as an ally for the Philippines in case of war, especially against China? To uncover the answer, we must delve deeper into the intricate web of diplomatic relations, understanding the impact of global events and the role of international bodies in shaping these alliances. So buckle up and let's embark on this fascinating journey of discovery together. What role do UN sanctions and trade relations play in this geopolitical equation? Let's take a closer look. It's important to understand that the United Nations has been a key player in shaping the relationship between the Philippines and North Korea. This became particularly evident when, in compliance with UN sanctions, the Philippines impounded North Korean ships docking at its ports. This bold move was a clear demonstration of the Philippines' commitment to upholding international law and order. But wait, there's more to the story. The year 2017 marked a significant turning point in the tale of these two nations. North Korea's missile tests, a source of global concern, led to the suspension of trade relations between North Korea and the Philippines. This was not just a political statement, but also a significant economic decision. Imagine this: an entire channel of trade abruptly cut off. North Korean goods could no longer make their way to the bustling markets of Manila, and Filipino products were barred from the streets of Pyongyang. This halt in trade relations wasn't just a line in a diplomatic note. It was a tangible impact felt by businesses and consumers alike. But what does all this mean for the relationship between the two nations? Well, it's a bit like a seesaw. On one side, there's the weight of political alignment and shared interests, and on the other, the pressure of global obligations and economic realities. The balance between these forces is delicate and can tip dramatically with global events. So, the UN sanctions and trade relations are not just a backdrop to the story. They're active characters, influencing and shaping the narrative in significant ways. They're the unsung heroes or villains, depending on your perspective, quietly steering the course of this complex relationship. So what role do UN sanctions and trade relations play in this geopolitical equation? A pretty significant one, it turns out. The economic ties, or lack thereof, indeed play a significant role in shaping the dynamics between these two nations. What is the Philippines' perspective on North Korea's nuclear activities? A question that probes the complexities of international relations. The Philippines' stance on this issue is quite clear. It remains critical of North Korea's nuclear activities. This aligns with the country's long-standing allies, South Korea and the United States. The Philippines' critique of North Korea's nuclear ventures is not without reason. The country, like many others, recognizes the potential global risks posed by nuclear weapons, especially when in the hands of an unpredictable regime. The Philippines is a nation that values peace and stability, and thus, it is wary of any activities that could potentially disrupt this equilibrium. Despite the establishment of formal relations in the year 2000, the Philippines has never shied away from expressing its concerns about North Korea's nuclear activities. This has been evident in its compliance with United Nations sanctions, including the impounding of North Korean ships. The Philippines' stand on this issue is not merely a reflection of its own principles, but also a testament to its alliances. The country has long been allied with South Korea and the United States, both of whom are staunch critics of North Korea's nuclear activities. These alliances could potentially influence the dynamics should a situation of conflict arise. However, it is worth noting that the Philippines' critique does not automatically translate into hostility. The nation understands the importance of diplomacy and dialogue in resolving conflicts and fostering mutual understanding. Therefore, while it remains critical of North Korea's nuclear activities, it also remains open to discussions and negotiations. So what does this all mean? It means that the Philippines' stand on North Korea's nuclear activities is a delicate balancing act. It is a stand that is shaped by a commitment to peace, allegiance to allies, and a recognition of the potential risks posed by nuclear activities. It is a stand that could indeed impact their alliance, especially in times of potential conflict. The Philippines' stand on North Korea's nuclear activities could indeed impact their alliance, especially in times of potential conflict. This is the complex, nuanced world of international relations, where alliances are sometimes as unpredictable as the conflicts they seek to prevent. Given the historical relations and current dynamics, could North Korea be an ally for the Philippines in case of war against China? This question leads us to a deep dive into the realm of geopolitics. As we navigate these waters, we must first take into account the history between the Philippines and North Korea. The relationship has been a complex one, marked by historical alliances and suspicions. It was only in the year 2000 that formal relations materialized, despite efforts beginning as far back as the 1970s. Now, let's imagine a scenario. A war breaks out involving the Philippines and China. Where does North Korea stand in this situation? North Korea's relationship with China is a crucial factor to consider. They share a long-standing alliance, with China being North Korea's largest trading partner and main source of food, arms, and fuel. This could significantly influence North Korea's decision in choosing sides. However, it's essential to remember that in the game of geopolitics, alliances can shift. North Korea, despite its ties with China, has shown a degree of independence in its foreign policies. Its nuclear ambitions, for instance, have often been a point of contention between the two nations. On the other hand, the Philippines has always been critical of North Korea's nuclear activities, aligning with its allies, South Korea and the United States. This could potentially complicate the prospect of a North Korean-Philippine alliance. Yet we cannot overlook the strategic geographical location of North Korea. In a war scenario, a North Korean alliance could offer the Philippines a significant strategic advantage. Moreover, the Philippines and North Korea have managed to establish diplomatic relations despite their complex history and differing ideologies. This indicates a certain level of political flexibility that could come into play in a war scenario. While the prospect seems complex, the geopolitical dynamics continue to evolve, keeping the possibility open. It's a chessboard of nations, with each move potentially altering the balance of power. As spectators, we can only speculate and watch as the game unfolds. So, what does the future hold for the relationship between North Korea and the Philippines? It's a question that weaves together the threads of history, politics, and global dynamics that we've discussed in this video. We've delved into the complex past of North Korea-Philippines relations, marked by historical alliances and suspicions. We've explored the impact of UN sanctions and how they've shaped trade relations, leading to a suspension in 2017 due to North Korea's missile tests. We've also taken a closer look at the Philippines' stance on North Korea's nuclear activities, aligning with its allies South Korea and the United States. We've pondered on the prospect of North Korea as an ally for the Philippines, especially in the event of a conflict with China. This potential alliance is not just about military might, but also about strategic positioning in the constantly shifting sands of international relations. In the grand scheme of things, the relationship between North Korea and the Philippines is but one piece of a larger global puzzle. It's a puzzle that's continually being rearranged as nations form new alliances, break old ones, and navigate the fine line between cooperation and conflict. While there's no definitive answer to what the future holds, one thing is certain: change is the only constant in the world of geopolitics. The alliances of today may not be the alliances of tomorrow, and as these changes unfold, they will undoubtedly have far-reaching implications, not just for North Korea and the Philippines, but for the entire global community. As we continue to navigate these complex geopolitical landscapes, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep wondering. Before we end this enlightening journey, a quick reminder: don't miss out on the chance to delve deeper into the fascinating world around us. Hit that subscribe button and join us as we unveil the layers of history, politics, and more. Your support helps us create more amazing content, enabling us to bring the world to your screens. Remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. So subscribe now and let's keep wondering together. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.